Hello again, everyone. Yeah, the topic for this little talk is I've decided to be nutrition. Right, so I haven't really planned anything. I'm just gonna start talking and see where I lead myself, and hopefully I get out all the information that I has running through my head in terms of some kind of like philosophy behind like a decent between about decent nutrition and the kind of principles that would be wise to take note of in order to achieve some sort of decent kind of nutrition and maintain optimum health. Right, so pretty much I'm just gonna like kind of share like my definition of what nutrition kind of is. So like nutrition, right, typically the reason why we eat, right, is because the body is continuing it fluctuates between the process of decay and growth, right? So those two processes, right, the body is always breaking down. It always needs to rebuild and repair itself. So we take in external substances from nature. Well, actually we are nature, right? It's not like there's nature and us, right? Our bodies are as much as nature as the plants in the ground. See what I mean? But so we take in those substances, right, to give our body what it needs to maintain itself. So if we don't give our body what it needs to maintain itself, it doesn't maintain itself. It starts to decay, and people start to get all sorts of health problems from such things as malnutrition. You know, a deficiency in our nutrition causes health problems. It's one of the main causes for disease. It's been well stated for thousands of years. Do you know what I mean? It's just general common sense, right? So nutrition is taking in external substances and turning it into our body. Pretty much, that's what we want. So like I said, back to the nature kind of philosophy behind it is the fact that we're all nature, right? So there's not nature and us, right? We are nature. Like my body, like our bodies, are made from natural substances, natural energies, natural essences, natural atoms, chemicals, whatever else you want to call these things. Do you know what I mean? That's what we're made out of. It's what it's made out of. So we need to take that in order to maintain that. Do you see what I mean? As well as the natural laws within the universe. Like, do you know what I mean? You take away gravity, and your body ceases to exist as it is. Take away any of the other substances like space, sun, air, water, earth, fire. All that. Take away the calcium in your bones, and you're not a human being as you are now. You cease to exist. So you need all of that, right? It's one complete whole picture which makes us what we are, right? So if it's one thing that's to be said about nutrition, is that nature knows best, right? So because we are nature, right, that which is the most natural, like you've only got to look at the way like the health industry markets such things. So if you typically like look, like anything that is natural is said to be the best. Why? Because we are natural. That's what we need. So that's just something to bear in mind, that the majority of man-made products, right, pardon me, are not only not good for us, right, they sometimes have adverse effects, but they don't even do what they say, and the body can't even use them properly because it's not got the energy, the organic cohesion for our bodies to use it properly. Do you know what I mean? We don't break it down properly. We don't utilise any of that properly. And if it's got stuff like additives and preservatives and other toxic kind of stuff which our body doesn't need, do you know what I mean? Then it has an adverse effect. Like, our bodies are made out of so much stuff, right? So anything other than that usually isn't what it wants, but it's not made out of it. So why would you put something in your body that isn't part of your body? I mean, that has no place in it, it's going to have an adverse effect. It doesn't recognise it, it goes absolutely mental and causes all sorts of problems. Do you see what I mean? So such man-made products and man-made additives and like artificial sweeteners and stuff, do you know what I mean, there's very little place, in fact there is no place in a good nutritional program for them, because it's a load of rubbish. It's all for the senses. It's all because people can't control their taste buds. They can't distance themselves from that brief excitatory sensations that they feel. They're trying to grab hold of that instead of thinking about what's actually good for them. Do you see what I mean? So so natural best, yeah, from soil to stomach, yeah. It's do you know what I mean? It's what our body wants. Right, so and talking about from soil to stomach, right, the quality of your food, right, is dependent on where it's come from and how it's grown. Do you know what I mean? If you got poor soil quality, right, the plant isn't going to have the nutritional content that or the plants or the substances or animals eating the grass, you know, aren't going to have or whatever they eat, aren't going to have the nutritional quality that our bodies are going to need to maintain itself. Do you see what I mean? Because if there's a deficiency in nutrition, right, deficiency, right, is a negative balance, right, it's a negative equation, right, so if you're not getting the nutrition you require, right, your body goes into a negative state and it starts breaking down, it starts compensating, it starts taking stuff from the body itself to try to maintain itself, because it's not getting it from anywhere else, so it has to try and get it from somewhere, and it gets it from the body. Do you know what I mean? To maintain the vital processes and that. So from soil to stomach, everything from the way things are grown, from the way animals are reared, to the quality of the soil, to how much sunlight they get, to the quality of air, to the chemicals they encounter, or preferably no chemicals they encounter. Do you know what I mean? Because if pesticides kill things, imagine what they do to the cells in your body. Do you see what I mean? It's not good for us. It never has been, never will be. Unfortunately though, the state of the farming industry it's in a bit of a predicament, right, ethically, because we've, as humanity as a whole, has caused itself so many problems due to overpopulation and due to the way we live, right, due to society on a whole. Do you know what I mean? Like we're so wasteful with stuff. Like, I'm talking to you now about a topic which need not exist, right? Because, do you know what I mean, on a laptop, right, I'm wasting valuable electric energy to tell human beings something that they should already know and they should already be doing, and that naturally they already did. Do you know what I mean? Because we're all nature. Naturally, everyone was being active and they were eating natural stuff. So I mean, it's not to say they didn't have diseases or health problems, because it's just because that likewise is a natural part of nature as well. You know, it regulates the population. It helps. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, it's not ideal and it's not optimal, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. So I mean, but we've caused ourselves more issues than we have to, right? So the farming industry is in a bit of predicament because it has to provide enough food for everyone, right, or for all that can reach it. Do you see what I mean? So somewhere along the line they have to, you know, it's not as clear cut as what a lot of people think it is. However, it could be a lot better, right? So that's just something along the farming, you know, the whole philosophy of eating natural is best, you know, because if you're not eating natural, right, then you're putting artificial stuff in your body's not artificial, right? It doesn't want artificial things. Do you know what I mean? It's a natural organism. You know, man makes machines, nature makes organisms. Go into wood and I defy you to find the robot. Right? You're not going to find one. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to find one. Go into some kind of warehouse and it's all robots, because man has made that. So do you see what I mean? So it's an artificial environment, it's an artificial thing. Yeah, we're not that. Human beings are a natural thing, so that's where we should stick, that's where we should stay, because it's what we are. So I mean, if you you need not have to go down that slippery road. So yeah. Plus also in terms of like toxins, things like smoking and that, taking in toxins, right, does one thing and one thing only, right, and that's poison the body. Poison the body for long enough, right, and you can't help but get a health problem. So, do you know what I mean? You can't help but get health problems. Just a natural effect. It's basic cause and effect. What's negative causes negative things. Yeah, negative causes have negative effects. Positive causes have positive effects. If you want to get the balance and maintain some decent optimal health, right, you do what's positive and do what's natural and do what's best for your body. Do you see what I mean? So yeah, that's just kind of the whole philosophy behind, well, my philosophy anyway, of where I come from in terms of nutrition, right? So also when it comes to nutrition, right, the best diet right now, there's 1,000,001 diets out there, right? Some better than others, some not so great, some absolute rubbish, all these little shake diets and that, like Slim Fast and Weight Watchers, products that they put out, right, terrible, don't get them, right, that's right, don't get them, right, they're not good for you. Right, so pretty much they're not good for you. Anything that isn't completely natural, right, is probably not best for you. Right, so don't have it. Right, first and foremost. In terms of reading labels, if you can't pronounce the name and you don't know what it is, look it up. Yeah, don't put it in your body if you don't know what it is, because you don't know what it's going to do to you. Just basic common sense. You need to think about these things, because we live in a topsy-turvy world that the majority of the time is not for your own best interest. So you're going to have to take it upon yourself and be your own guide, and really look at what you're putting into your body if you want to have decent health, pretty much. Do you know what I mean? There's no other way around it. Take responsibility for yourself, or end up with issues that you wish you never had. So a proper diet, right, the best diet, right, is the diet which provides your body what it needs. So it gives the right amount of vitamins and minerals, the right amount of protein, right, because a lot of your body's protein, right, so it's made from proteins, yeah, so it needs protein. If you're not given it enough protein, right, then you're deficient in that area, so your body's going to suffer. Fats, yeah, low fat diets, right, rubbish, absolutely rubbish. The body needs fat, yeah. If you're not giving your body what it needs, right, then it holds on to that fat that it's got. So if you want to lose weight, you give it higher quality fats, right, because it needs it. Yeah, your nervous system, right, hormones and all that are all made from fat. Yeah, like the nervous system's lined with fat. Do you know what I mean? If you're not if you're not giving your body fat, so it can create hormones and keep the nervous system in good condition, well, that's an absolute nightmare waiting to happen in terms of health in it. Just see what I mean? Like, you need to give it such things. If you're not giving it such things, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously there's a balance with everything, so there's too much of something and there's the right amount. Do you see what I mean? So if you're not giving your body fats, you're just continually on a low fat, low carb, kind of, or whatever, whatever diet, right? It's not the way it should be, because you're not giving your body what it needs to maintain itself, right? So the same with low carbs, right? Your body needs carbohydrate. Starve your body of carbohydrate and see how you feel, and see how your body reacts to it, right? Absolute nightmare, right? I know, I've done it, right? I've done low carb diets in the past just to see what was going on. Felt terrible, right? I lost a lot of weight, right? I put that all straight back on, yeah? Felt horrible, did nothing for my health. Realistically, it's an absolute load of rubbish. Those that stand by low carb diet, just purely low carb diets all the time, right? I fail to see where they're coming from, right? Because it makes people ill. You've only got to do it for a few weeks and realise that it's not really working out. Do you know what I mean? It's not in for your own best interest. You know, same with protein, you need to eating too much protein. If you're taking too much, right, your body can only handle a certain amount, so it just gets rid of it. Anything in excess, it either stores it or it gets rid of it. So it was an absolute waste of time eating it, absolute waste of money, and waste of food eating it, yeah, or it's just clinging onto your body, so you're going to get fat from it. Do you know what I mean? So, and likewise the same, if you're not eating enough, right, of what you need, yeah, it's you're going to be deficient. So, you know, it's all about finding that optimal balance, right, that optimal balance point, which is unique to you, right? It's unique to you. Now obviously I could probably talk about how to do it, but like from what would turn into a kind of brief little talk mentioning on nutrition would end up turning into like a 5-hour seminar, right, of which I'd have to get all sorts of training aids and all sorts of material together to try and even begin to explain certain things, right? And not that it's not even my like forte, you know, it's not something I'm particularly an expert on, but I'm saying in order to do such things, like, you'd have to have such a situation, and so that's not what this kind of video is about. It's just kind of just giving people a brief philosophy to recognise just simple guidelines, simple facts which can help them to improve the way they eat and the way they go about their nutrition on the whole, you know. So there's an optimal balance point to maintain everything, because likewise the body, like sustaining the body in good health, it's a act of maintenance, because if you're not giving the body what it needs, it's decaying, it becomes deficient, it starts breaking down, it starts taking stuff from itself, and do you know what I mean, it goes into starvation mode, yeah. Likewise, if you're giving it too much, it just storing stuff, do you know what I mean, it stores too much, do you know what I mean, you're wasting a lot of stuff that you need not be putting in your body, and that has adverse effects as well, you know, in terms of health. So it's all about balance. Everything is all about balance, you know, yin and yang, you know, getting the combination right, and you know, keeping everything sustained. Not that you can keep everything balanced, right, because if two forces are completely balanced, right, nothing moves, right. So this is one force, this another, right, completely balanced, right, not moving, right. So you're never going to completely find the balance, because otherwise the body doesn't move. Like, the body is a dynamic thing, it relies on a certain level of imbalance and fluctuation to keep it active and dynamic. Do you understand that? So like the continuous motion of stuff is caused because it's continually breaking down, and it continually needs to rebuild and repair itself, and in order to maintain that optimal level of function. So, you know, you're never going to completely find the balance, because if you did completely find the balance, you wouldn't move. You know, you would be like an absolute statue. Do you know what I mean? It can never be the case. So that's just something, that's just part of the world at large, the material world that we live in. You know, it's just part of the laws of nature which govern the activity and the dynamic nature of nature of what we are. Do you see what I mean? So you're never going to completely find the balance, yeah, but you can get close to it, and you can maintain a good level of function through nutrition, the right amount of activity. Likewise, activity has a balance, the right amount of sleep and rest, you know, and you know, having enough stress but not too much to wear yourself out, but not enough so you get completely lazy and lethargic. You know, it's all about balance, everything. So it's just something and for you to think about, and like, just put in perspective, if your life isn't in balance, yeah, you can only put it in balance, right? So it's up to you to do such a task and make that, you know, make your life what it is, because you make your life what it is, make your life balanced so you get the most out of it, you get the best of both worlds. You know, you maintain yourself and you develop that physical, mental, emotional well-being, which, you know, ultimately will keep you happy. It will and improve the quality of your life, and that's what it's all about. So yeah, so just thought I'd share those thoughts, and hope everyone has a lovely day.